What year is it? 2022? It's 2022. Okay, so 2004 from 22 is 18.
Yeah.
Is that 18 years? 18 years since Edith W. Hessick went on to the ethers. Jerry said, Marge, I'm mad at she wasn't very nice to me. And that's how I feel about Edith. She wasn't ever very nice to me. Nobody was ever really nice to me. That's why I always learned how to entertain myself. And I became so ornery because people just would poke fun at me and make fun of me. And I could take it for so long. And then and then it was like mean. And then I had to defend myself. So, and I got in trouble a lot for defending myself in life. And that's all right because those people had to, were all they, the ones that made me defend myself.
God, people are cruel.
People are so cruel. And I've been thinking a lot about it because all these pervy stuff in the news lately, just everywhere, adults doing terrible, gross things to children. You don't mess with kids and you don't mess with animals. You don't mess with, it's just what you don't do. And there's so many twisted, the people, they don't have a soul. They're just demonic. They're full of demons and their self-will and their perversions and they're angry and
frustrated
and they're gross and they were ruined as a child, so it's like a plague. They like to go out and take as much innocence as much as a child. See, but I never let them get mine. They've been trying since I was a 10-month-old baby to take away my goodness, and I ain't gonna let them get it. I won't do it. And I speak about people, I speak out, I tell people, it has nothing to do with, lack of healing any childhood trauma and all to do with the fact that I'm trying to let people know that have weird, gross shit happen to them as a hand of an adult when you're a kid, that you can be okay in life. You don't have to freaking go down the path of alcohol and drugs and being a waste-oid and having a bunch of kids and being in the system, and you can break all that. Hi, my name's Marge. I'm a Heyoki empath. I just like having these little talks and the way I feel about things. And it's happening to more and more people. Their lives are being touched by it. It's everywhere by trusted, doctors, it's just all over the place. That creep, he had his tokens, 700,000 images of like people that he took pictures of in their vulnerable state. I mean, just wicked, evil human beings. And society is just driven to act like that stuff doesn't happen, like that stuff doesn't exist. And it needs to change. It needs to stop. So, I was angry today because I was sad. I that's what I came to the conclusion right before I started, this talk is like, I was sad. So my go-to emotion is just get mad about everything. And I don't have any reason to be, right? I really don't. And I was just telling Mom, I said, it's weird because we live farther than any part of civilization than I've ever lived in my life. Like I've always been lived in towns and stuff, rural areas, but towns were not too far off. And it's just really weird. I feel disconnected from the rest of the planet. I really do. And And like, and it occurred to me that today was the anniversary, like grandma knew Christmas Eve, you know, and holidays. We never really recognized holidays. Holidays were just something else that we had to freaking deal with, that we had to, you know, satisfy some judge I never saw before. That's what holidays were about. They were stupid. Greyhound buses. That's how we spent our Christmases. How many years? From the time we were like 6, 7 until I was 12, 13. And I was like, I don't, because we go down there, we wouldn't even hang out with the guy. And I'd hang out with the guy and he wouldn't even talk to me. So why all this effort? It just sucked. Oh my God, it sucks so bad. You know, I never asked for anything. Didn't ever ask for, like, you know, and they'd be like, okay, well, what do you want? You know, I'd be like, finally want, you know, on the occasion I did. Like, I wanted ski stuff. Everybody else was getting like season passes up to Mount Shasta and all the ones down in Tahoe, and some of my friends were even getting, their parents were flying them out to Vail and shit. You know, that's how much their parents love them. Mom used to give us in the stockings, like, she would put the phone, like the cable bill in one and the electricity bill in mine, and like Jerry would get the cable bill. Like, that's what, you know, that's what our presents were, is the electricity. Huh, Ma? Yeah, for a lot of years, that's how things were. You know, cold concrete floors, no heat. No heat? Didn't have central heat until, I don't know, I started living dorm life when I was in the Air Force. No, I've lived in places that had central heat before that, I think, here and there. My grandparents, I always considered them the rich side of the family. They had nice properties. She sold real estate for 40-something years in Atascadero. And she had the prime real estate. Yeah.
She was very popular.
Yeah.
It was a personality.
Yeah, she's Sagittarius too. Evidently. Sagittarius.
She had a presence about her.
Yeah.
That was.
I'm getting a reel right now of her look of disappointment. Like, she just didn't understand the way I process things, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but she wasn't very nice to me on several occasions either.
She wasn't a very nice person at all. It doesn't matter.
I don't know, she was real good. Well, Jerry was the baby. He was the first grandson from her baby, Greg. So I could see why he was endeared. And I was your guys' parting gift. I mean, whatever the situation is there. So, I don't know. Who knows? It's weird. I just read an article about how 12 years old, some big wig Hollywood producer, man, perverts everywhere. 12 years old, this guy got naked in front of Shirley Temple Black when she was 12 years old. She's like, it was the first time I ever saw a naked man, and she just started laughing. She just started cracking up, just roaring, just laughing. And then the guy got so pissed he kicked her out of the office. That's what they ought to do. It's 50-50 chance, you know. Either they'll get freaking pissed and kill you or try to kill you. Just try to get away. Try. Just try. I mean, the world is turning into a very dark place. I'm glad I'm getting to an age like I got no reason to be out after the sun goes down, you know? Around here, everybody drives drunk. I don't want to be around people driving drunk all over the place. Yeah? I got no reason. So I'm, the gist I'm getting in the collective climate. I don't know, here it's pretty warm. It's cold as hell in Omaha. They're gonna start warming up here. Monday, Tuesday here, it's supposed to be like 51. Man, we've been having the windows open. It's nice here. I got something to make a nice dinner, and I can even, if I wanted, I could bring some leftovers to people. But I don't know. Like, I went out today and I was like, there's tourists everywhere. There's people all over the place. So I went a lot of the back ways. And I just people piss away so much. They tinker. They here, they go here, they go here, they have a house here, they go there, they live there, they're here for a while, they're here. They have so fucking much, and there's so many people that don't have jack shit. And it's not because that's, how they want it. It's because society is really taking a dip. It's really taking a dip. Mankind has plummeted. Humanity has plummeted, I should say. Humanity. Where is the humanity? All the non-for-profits love getting paid. They love paying themselves to say that they care, and it never trickles down. It never fucking trickles down. And in this stupid state that I live in, they keep getting millions upon millions upon it's a joke at this point. Now it's like, we're just not going to help you because we don't give a fuck about human beings. We only care about us and our club and the people that we want in the club. I think there's going to be a big change. I just don't know how it's going to just roll out. Frankly, I don't. And it's going to be one of those, like, whether it's going to be in your life or in a collective, in a large scale, where everybody's going to feel it. Just like the people disappearing. They found that chick that I'd been tracking. There's a story in Omaha, man. There's homicides. Every place is just getting bad. Places are just getting bad. Just the regard for life is diminishing. I mean, I was thinking about that. How many, between all the people in this country that are involved with something? I'm a stoner. And I mostly like eating edibles. I make cookies. I like those because then I don't like smoking. I don't like the way the smoke smells. I don't like... Well, I quit smoking cigarettes, and I don't know. I don't smoke inside. I smoke on the porch when I do. And I think whoever lived here before smoked, because I can smell cigarette smoke, unless the aunties are still around, and that's what I'm smelling. Anyway, so I went in, I was trying to feel like, get the vibe, I don't know, I was just trying to feel better than I was feeling, and I went to ship a box, and it was like $126 to ship or something like that. I was like, alright. Okay. Yeah, so that was rad. That was a nice surprise. That was like half of the item that I bought. It was like a $200 item, so I don't know. The guy will be stoked. He lives on a mountain. This is his hot water source, and it's motivated him, and he's building another type deal so where he sleeps will be warmer too. So it's I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a chump. Sometimes I feel like I do too much, and I feel like a little bitch sometimes. And whatever. And the thing of it is I really should not have any opinion on how I feel about myself at all. That's the tricky part. is that I should not be thinking about that. But I have bad days. And it wasn't even like a terrible day. It was just like I was crabby. I was just crabby. And I don't have any reason to be at all. And then I go through and I do my gratitude list in my head, and I get into action. I don't just sit around and think about how crappy I am. I start getting busy. There's always something to do. And then that's when my mood changes. And then I start doing one of these talks, and I feel better about things too. I went and got a kid some, I left him in the van because I'll bring it up to him tomorrow. And, brought him some sketch pads and some pencils and stuff like that.
Well, that was nice.
Because, he's got talent, and nobody, nobody supports these kids. And that's when they're like, fuck it, I'm just going to get drunk all day. Nobody cares about me anyway. I'll just get drunk, stay stoned, and play video games all day. Give them something to do instead of that. Is what I'm trying to encourage. I've been trying to give this kid guidance to learn how to do something that's frickin' that people are gonna need. I got a lot of skills that people, IT skills. Yeah, I gotta go. I can get a job at the hospital right now. I just am a stay-at-home daughter. And, honestly, I as much as like the days get kind of redundant and I have a hard time with that sometimes, which is my own problems if I can't be creative enough to entertain myself. But some days I have a hard time with just the redundancy, because it's good for you to be on a schedule. It ain't always good for me.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
Why? Because sometimes I just like taking off.
Oh.
And I haven't taken off in probably 4 years.
Well, when you haven't taken off.
Where I can go explore
Yeah.
without having to worry about you or the dogs.
What are you doing with
Here, it's taken off is a lot different than it was taken off in Oregon, going up to Washington or anything.
There's a lot more people.
No, there's a lot less people here. Yes, there's a lot more people in Oregon. This weekend, this holidays put so much pressure on people.
It does.
It puts so much pressure because it,
And sometimes they get in fights.
Yeah.
Just like a power play.
Oh, there are all these crazy, stupid ritual power play things going on. I'm glad we don't watch the news. I'm glad for that. Ooh, Mom, we haven't taken one of these in a couple days. See, I'm bad about everyday things. Bad about everyday things. Oh, bad about it. Here, Mom. We did soak Mom's feet last night, though. Huh. It's a multivitamin.
What is it?
It's a multivitamin. Your nails are all breaking. They get shit. These shit goes through face. We'll file them and clean them off tomorrow, and maybe put a fresh coat on. How would you like that, Marge? Huh?
I could do
I bought myself a restaurant-style meal. I've done this for years before. When I lived in Omaha, I'd get like a beef tenderloin or something like that, right? With the asparagus and the garlic mashed potatoes, and make this big meal. And Mom would be down in her room. Her room was downstairs, and she doesn't like holidays, so she just started like closing herself off a few days before, and so I just had this big old meal, oftentimes by myself. I didn't. There was like, cause there was everybody had some place to go. For years, I haven't had some place to be on holidays. For like. And when the places where we had to go, they did. It was like an assignment. It was not because anybody wanted. Life is so weird, huh, Ma?
Yeah, it is.
And then you fast forward, and it's just another day. But I did buy stuff to make a freaking really good meal. It was like we're like a bunch of. He was rolling it out. The butcher was rolling it out, and then he goes. And then I was like there looking at it to see cuts, and then another lady was there looking. I mean, they want to sell their meat. He shouldn't really care if you're taking it off the rack or not. It saves them the trouble to have to put it on the shelf, right? So it was $67.62 is what this cut of meat was. But because I am a loyal Smith's customer and have my little plastic card, it took it down to $38.18. I saved $29.44. How big is it? 564. Choice rib roast, bone in. And it has nice marbling. And I will probably share it with people because there's no way. I can't. That's no. Well, there's a lot of this will come off. It's fat and the flavor, the gristle will like cook down. But that'll be fun.
That will be fun for you.
That'll be fun. And asparagus. I got all kinds of asparagus. And then potatoes. And we got so many snacks and treats, Mom. You know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got it's always that's is cool. What's it's one perk about Mom's memory stuff is that she gets surprised a lot.
That's funny.
Like I could tell her something. Like I could tell her, like, I don't know. I could tell her what something I got her for Christmas, and she'd get excited about it. And she just keep getting excited about it because she forgets that I tell her. Huh? That's just how it is. You got to look at the bright side of stuff, huh? But she remembers a lot of stuff from the olden days, huh, Mom? Isn't that true? Like, I'm going to take you to drive around on the Pueblo because you said that you went there before when you were young. With Grammy and Papa? Wouldn't that be nice? I dig these pictures of you. There's little Jerry, too.
How old is Jerry now?
50-something? 51. Couple years older than me. He does that tongue thing. We all do that tongue thing. This thing right here is tongue thing. The tongue thing. His daughter, she does the tongue thing. Mom, she does the tongue thing.
No.
You do. I have a picture of you doing it. I literally, I'm going to use the word right, correct. I literally have teeth marks from biting my tongue from doing that. Yep. I have the crease from biting my tongue. I literally have a crease, a line from my teeth from biting my tongue.
That would hurt.
Nope. It doesn't. I don't bite it that hard. It's just I've done it for 48 years. That's the thing. That's years of, I think about all the stuff that I say or I've said, and then I think, man, all the stuff that I didn't. Whew! I should be glad for that, huh? Huh, Ma? Yep. Hi, Stacy.
Where does Stacy live?
She's on the East Coast, I believe.
Is she an older person, an older lady?
I think we're about the same. We're in the same neighborhood. Think maybe I'm not sure. I can't. She has a big one. See, that's the thing. Is about I can live vicariously through other people. You know it? Like I have been around people that have had these ginormous, where they just have just the whole freaking corner is just all gifts, and as time goes on, life expands, families grow, right? That's what I was trying to get us to be closer to be a part of in Sacramento, to no avail. Just wasn't supposed to be that way. So here we are in New Mexico. Frickin' this place, man. This place is just a trip. They just don't have regard for life. They just don't. And they get all fucking offended and shit when you talk about how they don't have any regard for life. And I'm just like, oh, excuse me. There's garbage everywhere. There's tweakers and junkies all over the place. There's people on fentanyl. There's freaking human trafficking. Just name it. Just drugs. Just more drugs. Just more drugs that are made in a warehouse. It's not stuff that, that's like made in a garage, but like some dealers. No, these are governments that are freaking making these big old, all these drugs, and then people get hooked on them, and then they're just dumb.
They start getting in fights.
Oh, they kill people. They just, oh my God, the number of homelessness and depravity that causes, and the garbage and the stench, in cities all over this country has turned into a third world nation. It really has. And yet they keep freaking pumping trillions of dollars to freaking bullshit in places that have nothing to do with us. It's just, the story is absurd, and it just expands, and it gets bigger, and it gets grosser, and it gets dumber. I think more people are catching on that the reality imposed in TV land is not the dream that people should be chasing. Hopefully, the word is people are going to start getting more fit and start caring about themselves, which is good news, because as I understand it, if you care about yourself and you start taking care of yourself, that's when the likelihood that you're going to start giving a shit about other people. But I don't know, that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. It's just, it's out of control. The drugs are just, they're everywhere. I mean, when I was a kid in high school, 89, 90, 91, I graduated in 92. It was like the week of graduation. I did. Excuse me. I knew what drugs were and everything. I've been around drugs my whole life. I just never did them myself. And my buddy Champ found on the ground a bag of powder, and he did he's like, oh, it's crank. And that was the first time I did crank. And from the get-go, I didn't like the drip, right? I'm up here anyway. My body is always amped up, running high. I am telling myself constantly to go slow. And so when trying that was a trip. It was fun, you know. That was like the week before I graduated high school, and I barely graduated high school. But I did it. I'm seconds and inches, man. My whole life has been seconds and inches, right? It just hasn't helped much if I perpetuate it by freaking not helping with alcohol and drugs. What's the matter, Tuck? What's the matter? You're okay. You're a good boy. Who's THC on this song? I've been thinking about my sister a lot. Of course, this is the first Christmas, you know, since she died in September, and it's just, this is her favorite song that's playing in my ear. I just have some playlist going on shuffle, and this is on it, and it reminds me, you know, whenever I feel like, hey, because I because Scorpio season and Capricorn season and stuff, those are like winter. Those were like prominent drinking times for me, and get numb and dumb. I just like getting, you know, and because I didn't like getting wasted when it was hot out. Unless I was in air conditioning or something, or around water. But being the hot, but being in the cold, and just something about like chain smoking and being in the cold and all that stuff was, I don't know, it was really appealing. I did it for 13 years. But, you know, I never really liked the serious drugs, thank God. And I just have seen so many lives that have just succumbed to them. You know, they just, and now it's like, what's worse, the drugs that the kids are getting at school on the street, or the ones that the parents are taking them to the doctors, and the doctors are giving them in the doctor's offices? Either way, I mean, it's people are detached from their spirit. There's too much numb and dumb. People got to feel their feelings. That's what being a human being is about, you know. Where's the empathy if people don't feel anybody? Everybody's shut down. It's weird. It's a trip. Story continues, huh, Ma? Ready to pig out on some snacks? Small snacks? We got cookies in here. How about you want to split? How about we'll try one of these? These are cute. Well, I don't know what happened to him. The guy just said, I don't like the way they're all up in my kitchen, as I'm standing in the kitchen. I don't know what happened to the gingerbread men one, Ma. Were you in here snacking?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, Margie.
Well, that is a trip. They're both MIA. That is weird. Oh well. See, I could almost think that maybe Artie Pants got it, but the box, where the box is, you can't reach it. So that's just really weird. I don't know. there was 2 gingerbread cookies in there. And they were like half frosting. And they're both not in there in the whole box. Oh well, here. We got plenty of other stuff. Here's like a chocolate thing. I gotta take dogs walking around, so I'm gonna get off this video here. I'll be back this weekend. I don't know, a lot of people I know are gonna be around because I think I might do something during the day. I always hated that. How it's like nobody was around because everybody was hanging out with their family. It always sucked. So I'll be yammering on. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.